Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Thank you so much for giving me your time. This right here is a little bit of information about me. You learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. In this video, I'll talk to you about the $1.9 trillion plan from President-elect Joe Biden and why economists support it, and a lot of Republicans are actually wary about it. They're not super happy about it, and that's what we are going to dig deep into. On your screen, you'll see an article that was published by Bloomberg, and the headline of the article reads, Biden urges swift action on giant aid plans with Republicans wary. So what's happening is that the price tag, the $1.9 trillion price tag, with $350 billion for state and local governments is probably making conservative Republicans like Rand Paul, like the Senate Majority Leader, the outgoing Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, it's making them freak out. So they are essentially going to object. That's probably going to draw out negotiations and talks this time. I do believe will be much more predictable. And as you can see, Bloomberg says that talks will lack the Trump volatility factor. In other words, we're not going to be pulled in different directions. Decisions aren't going to be changed, and decisions aren't going to be backtracked. So we can expect some stability in the conversations, but at the same time, this is going to be a negotiation back and forth. But I do believe it's going to be a faster negotiation where the two sides can hopefully come to an agreement, because some Republicans are still going to be needed to support this plan, because the Biden administration doesn't want to use the process of reconciliation to push this through. They want to try and keep the process of reconciliation in their back pocket in case they want to use it for something major down the road. According to Bloomberg, Biden's hand was bolstered by Friday's release of US retail sales data for December, which showed a third straight monthly decline as the pandemic crippled economic activity. The results indicated that the biggest part of the US economic recovery, which is consumer spending, actually took a step back. People actually spending less. Here's a quote on your screen from President-elect Biden. It's not hard to see that we are in a once in several generations economic crisis. We have to act, and we have to act now. Pretty decisive statements from President-elect Biden. The plan from President-elect Biden includes $400 billion to contain the pandemic and speed up the reopening of the economy, as well as $1,400 in additional stimulus payments, which again would bring the total stimulus check up to $2,000. Now, there are some parts of this proposal which are going to get backlash, which are going to get criticism from Republicans. This includes a $15 an hour minimum wage that President-elect Biden is proposing, and large-scale aid, $350 billion in aid for state and local governments, and higher unemployment benefits through September. So when the unemployment benefits that are there now expire in the middle of March, they would then be extended up until September with $400 a week. So there is a strong push from the Biden team for this enhanced stimulus package. And one of the reasons for this strong push is, you'll see this chart on your screen, which shows you the consumption hit. Take a look at that red arrow on the top right-hand side of that chart, and you'll see that retail sales are actually falling again because of the surge in the pandemic that we are experiencing in different parts of the country. Here's another quote on your screen from President-elect Biden. Unity is not a pie-in-the-sky dream. It is a practical step to getting things done. That's what he said. He also said the very health of our nation is at stake. Now, also according to Bloomberg News, and I'm quoting Bloomberg here, the incoming president is a veteran in dealing with McConnell, who may be willing to horse trade for his priorities like COVID-19, liability protections for employers, or an extension of business tax breaks. So, could we see a deal that makes sense for both sides? Could we see a situation where the president picks up the phone, President Biden picks up the phone, talks to Mitch McConnell, talks to both sides, which, by the way, never really happened with the prior administration. There was no call. There was no call from the prior president and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi when it came to these stimulus negotiations. Could we see a situation where the two meaning the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, effective Wednesday of next week, and the President Biden, effective Wednesday of next week, get together, get on a phone call, hash things out, and then the Senate Minority Leader goes and talks to Republicans who then support the bill? Yep. And by the way, this is how things are supposed to work. Here's a quote on your screen from Andrew Husby, who's an economist with Bloomberg Economics. Andrew says, given the urgency of the current crisis and the desire to achieve passage in the administration's first 100 days, we expect a narrower package to ultimately emerge in the vicinity of $1 trillion. That figure could be enough to push economic growth to above 5% this year compared with our current baseline of 3.5%. So it seems like we may not get $1.9 trillion. So, President-elect Biden might be shooting for the stars here, but we should hopefully get a package that's above $1 trillion, which should include stimulus checks. But we'll have to wait and see if some things actually get cut out. It's going to be a few weeks before this stimulus package is actually approved by the House and the Senate. But let me be clear. The incoming Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has said that the stimulus checks, the $2,000 stimulus checks, meaning the $1,400 stimulus checks on top of the $600 stimulus checks, are going to be the number one priority for the new Senate led by Democrats. Now, here's something interesting. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce said in a statement in the past 24 hours that it welcomes the introduction of President-elect Biden's American Rescue Plan, and it said that, and it actually praised the money for the vaccine focus, and it didn't comment on the minimum wage increase. Now, Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, the Republican from California, said that the package was bad for businesses. He said special interests and liberals are cheering. The jobless and Main Street are left shaking their heads. Now, this is the typical discourse between Republicans and Democrats, but I can tell you it's a lot less dramatic than what we've seen in the past few months. Here's another article on your screen that was published by the Washington Post. Congressional Republicans balk at Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus plan, complicating push for a quick passage. Here's a comment on your screen from Senator Rick Scott from Florida. He said, "We have to get serious about how we're spending taxpayer dollars." And by the way, this is relatively mild. I think when we hear from Rand Paul's really going to be freaking out. But again, Senator Rick Scott said, "We have to get serious about how we're spending taxpayer dollars. We cannot simply throw massive spending at this with no accountability to the current and future American taxpayer." Now, let me know in the comment section below whether you agree with Senator Rick Scott from Florida or whether you agree with President-elect Biden. In fact, let's hear right now from President-elect Biden where he outlines the American Rescue Plan, and he says that there are two stages, there are two steps in his plan. The first stage is rescue, the second stage is recovery. The American Rescue Plan is indicative of the first phase of President-elect Joe Biden's plan. Let's roll the tape and listen to comments from President-elect Joe Biden.
A growing number of top economists has shown even our debt situation will be more stable, not less stable, if we seize this moment with vision and purpose. And so tonight, I'd like to talk to you about our way forward. A two-step plan of rescue and recovery. A two-step plan to build a bridge to the other side of the crisis we face to a better, stronger, more secure America. Tonight, I'll lay out my first step, the American Rescue Plan, that will tackle the pandemic and get direct financial assistance and relief to Americans who need it the most. I will lay out our vaccination plan to correct course and meet our goal of 100 million shots at the end of my first 100 days as president. This will be one of the most challenging operational efforts we have ever undertaken as a nation. We'll have to move heaven and earth to get more people vaccinated, to create more places for them to get vaccinated, to mobilize more medical teams to get shots in people's arms, to increase vaccine supply, and to get it out the door as fast as possible. We'll also do everything we can to keep our educators and students safe, to safely reopen a majority of our K-8 schools by the end of the first 100 days.
That's it, everybody. Let me know what you think about the content in this video, the ambitious plan from President-elect Joe Biden, and the initial response, the not so enthusiastic response from Republicans, which was to be expected, but without the volatility, without the unpredictability, without the intensity of the Trump factor. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. You'll get a link to all of our resources in the description section below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that you are greatly appreciated. This right here is a little bit of information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. Definitely check out my video. Keep in mind that this channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country. it's about the economy, and it's about your money. Me and my team work hard every single day to try and bring you important news related to the country, the economy, and related to your money. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. If you want to get on our SMS alerts list, simply get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list moving forward. You can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you'll get added to our email list going forward. Now, sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time, so simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. And then you'll be able to visit the homepage of our channel and you'll be able to check out our videos at any point in time that you want. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Now, the unique thing about Twitter, in fact, I'll show you my Twitter feed on your screen right now. Our Twitter community is growing very rapidly. The unique thing about Twitter is you'll know what I'm reading. I retweet in real time. So you'll be able to actually get the news from me in real time through Twitter. So make sure you sign up for a Twitter account if you haven't already, and make sure you follow me at ignition_time on Twitter. Now, one of the things I'm especially proud about and I'm really, really happy to see is our growing community. Our community's intelligence is bipartisan, it's respectful. So definitely comment below and become a part of our growing community. And when you comment below, you'll make some new friends in our growing community. Speaking of community, all I ask is that you please share this video with just 2 friends or family members, just 2 friends or family members. I would really appreciate that. And as always, you'll get a link to all of our resources in the description section below. If you learn something new, please click like. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.